alone in the woods. It's quiet, too quiet. Then you hear it. Your name, called from somewhere in the trees. It sounds like someone you know, a friend, a family member. But they're not out here. And when you turn your light toward the sound, you see something standing between the trees. Not quite human, not quite animal. Then it speaks to you. Closer this time. Tonight, we take a deep dive into the Skinwalkers with the Veritas Project. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the Project Investigation Collaboration, brought to you by the Veritas Project. And as always, we are here with our gracious host and founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Wikibob Curtis.
Hello.
And I'm lead investigator Todd Boyer, and welcome in everybody.
Yeah, welcome in.
Oh, man. It's been a long 2 weeks, Bob. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded one.
Yeah. How about that?
You've been, like, busting your butt on the house. You sent me some pictures. And
we got a lot done. A lot done.
Right on.
So hopefully in the next few months we'll be ready to go in there.
Right on. Yeah, as long as everything gets cleared up on that end with the family and everything. Yeah. That's such a shame. Greedy people are greedy people, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I had my first book event this past weekend.
Oh, I saw that.
I got to meet with some great people. We'll just say that, and we'll leave it at that.
Nice.
Because the event itself was not the greatest, and I'll just leave it at that. So, that being said, is there anything else going on in local news? Or anything you want to talk about, like worldwide, that we can that you want to touch on, other than the fact that like people are seeing UFOs everywhere now?
Yeah, I know. Actually, there was a video that I saw last night over Nellis Air Force Base of a really, really clear saucer-shaped UFO, and it was in 4K, and the person wasn't shaking their phone around like usual. You know what I mean? Like it's like an inside joke that everybody has like a 4K cell phone,
but they can't get a straight picture.
Yeah, as soon as they see a UFO, they break out their Mavica, their 20-year-old video camera,
the flip phone with it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me get my glove box, get my old StarTAC
the Nokia brick.
Out of there. Yeah.
One step above a Nokia brick, it has a phone or a camera on it.
Yeah. So that looked really promising. We'll have to see. I haven't had a chance. I've been staying at the farmhouse this weekend, so I haven't had a chance to run it through all the software to see if there's any artifacts or AI in it.
Yeah, you're all nicely dressed here this weekend due to having to be on call.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, and the update on the meteors over Ohio, it was what we thought it was in the beginning, that there's a Chinese satellite that is basically beaching other people's satellites. It's knocking them out of orbit on purpose. So,
wow.
So that's what that was. That's what I figured it was, because people were, as soon as you put out a statement like that, and then you have a whole bunch of bots that are like calling you names and you know what I mean, that right away that you're
on the right path.
You're on the right path, because when the bot farm gets upset, then you know that you're going down the right path.
Right.
So
you start to get crucified for.
It was a military thing. It was something the Chinese were knocking out satellites in between Canada and the United States. So.
Oh, that was nice of them.
There you go. Not always paranormal stuff.
That's why we're here.
Right.
Debunk the craziness.
Yeah.
And show the other craziness. So we got to discussing this week, and we decided that we wanted to do Skinwalkers.
Yeah. We're going to lean more towards the Appalachia, I think, Skinwalkers than the...
Well, they do come originally from Navajo tradition.
Right. Well, the term.
So it's the term is, and I've been practicing this, guys, all morning, and I've been forgetting it, and I look it up again, and then I forget it, and I look it up again. It's Yinald Loshi, which means he who goes on all fours.
Right.
And the original Navajo tradition, this is someone who was a respected member of the community, or a healer, or a leader, who dabbled in dark magic to learn how to shapeshift, and they use that shapeshifter form to do not good things.
Right.
And it was normally a dog or a wolf or a bird that they would shapeshift into. Now, that's the original version of Skinwalker, and that's where Skinwalker Ranch got its name, because it's in that area You
Yeah.
know, or somebody would, put two and two together and like, oh, what about Skinwalker Ranch? So I
Yeah.
thought I'd bring that up too.
And
It's funny.
the first time that they'd seen the entity on the Skinwalker Ranch, it was a wolf. It was a large wolf object or being. So that's why they hung that moniker on there as a Skinwalker Ranch. Because if you do any research into the Bigelow propulsion, and what they were doing out there, it has nothing to do with Skinwalkers at
Right.
all. So why would they name it that? And they
Well,
didn't. So,
it was due to, I want to say it was the Taylors. I'm not 100% on that. Were some of the original owners of the ranch, and they actually saw the dog wolf creatures out
right.
there, and that's actually how Skinwalker Ranch got its name,
Yeah.
was starting in there, and then it was like highly explored in the 90s. They really, Skinwalker Ranch got into its groove, and they went out and did investigations and whatnot.
Right.
So, oh, what did ChatGPT come up with us for today? Now it looks like. From what ChatGPT is, it kind of mixed the mimic phenomenon, which is a mimic or a doppelganger, which is more the modern version of the Skinwalker,
Right.
with the original Navajo version of the Skinwalker. So, in paranormal sense, these would kind of, I know Bob would agree with me. This is more of a mimic or a doppelganger rather than a Skinwalker.
Right. Right.
But it's all kind of taken one big. It's all chunked together now.
Yeah.
So
I think like I said, what it tried to do was combine like the Appalachia type of Skinwalker with the more of the Western, type of Skinwalker. So it tried to unify that into one cryptid. So
Right.
that's what it's doing.
So the mimicry of it, the modern Skinwalker, the Appalachian Skinwalker, calls your name.
Right.
You'll be in your house, you'll hear somebody else, your mom or somebody who's not supposed to be there, will be there calling your name.
Yeah.
And that is a big one. And I've seen a lot of videos on this, but I'm sure
Yeah. Yeah.
they're junk.
Possibly.
Just
right.
put somebody on the side of the wall calling your name. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you what though, something that you and I have both experienced, which is really, really wild, is when we're doing a spirit box session and it uses our voices.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a wild one.
It is trippy. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, wait, that sounds like me.
Yeah. Coming out of the spirit box, right? Like how impossible is that to
Right.
have happen? You can go back and watch some of our spirit box footage from the limp, and you'll see it happen.
Yeah, sound just like me or sound just like Bob and
Yeah.
talking to us and stuff. So these skinwalkers, they all often try to make themselves sound like family members too.
Right.
So, like I said, somebody that's not around, and it's usually at night that this happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's designed to lure your attention. To what
Right.
extent? You don't know,
Right.
because anybody smart enough is not going to go. I haven't heard of anyone disappearing to a skinwalker. So, and this can also fall into kind of the similar to the not deer, not
Yeah.
a deer that we did a few weeks ago.
Right.
Like they take on animal forms or whatnot, and
That's just unnatural. Like it's not a 1-to-1 copy of whatever it's trying to copy. Like there's something off about it.
like a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah.
Like not exactly like an old video game. You go up
Yeah.
and the deer's all like, all wonked out and stuff.
Yeah.
So usually they have a getting closer pattern. They call to you from far away, try to draw you in, or they move closer over time and repeatedly call to you. So I wonder if that's more of they're trying to find you kind of a situation or trying to draw you out kind of a situation. They're waiting for you
Right.
to answer, or are they waiting for you to draw you out? What do you think about that?
I believe it's more of a trying to draw you out type thing, because it seems to me like that's their goal, is to try to assault you. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's always, I don't know what they're after per se, but it's the idea is that it wants to unalive you out in the forest. So it uses like your parents' voice or
Right.
like a nickname that only somebody in your family would use, like things like that, or it will whistle. they'll whistle in the periphery of the forest, try to get your attention. Things like that.
And that's a big thing too in Appalachia is, if you hear a whistle, do not whistle back. That's like a
Right.
huge thing. And the people in Appalachia will tell you that. If you hear a whistle, you do not whistle back.
Right.
So
Yeah, I see TikToks on it all the time. Where
really?
People are like out on a walk in the woods, and they'll hear a whistle. And they're like, "Nope, not today."
Not today, Mr. Skinwalker. Not
Right.
today. Oh, man. A lot of times with those whistles and things, people say they feel like they're being hunted
Yeah.
or
Well,
uneasy.
People have that. There's a really good book that I recommend to everybody. It's called The Gift of Fear, and it's about trusting your intuition when things don't feel right. And that's a really good sense that people have, and it's a good thing to hone, and in these situations, that's what they're talking about. Like the thing calls to you, and instead of you like, hey, you automatically feel panic,
Right.
because something's wrong, and that's a good sense to have, right?
Well, that's something that you and I have talked about like a multitude of times. Even doing paranormal investigations, you are your best equipment.
Yeah.
When you and I have gotten our best photographs and we're like, there's something wrong here. You feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up or whatever.
Right. Something's over there. Click.
Yeah. It's like, I got that feeling in the back of my head. And that comes with years of experience of doing paranormal investigations.
Sitting in the dark for hours and hours.
I get that. And mine is actually a full-on, like I've said it before on the podcast, if it starts at the back of my head and goes all the way to my feet, right? If the goosebumps, I start taking pictures. And I've got some crazy good pictures.
Yeah.
If it's just my arms, I'm just being freaked out. But if it legit starts at the back of my skull and goes to my feet, that's when I'm like, I go crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, your body is your best tool for paranormal investigation, and it's kind of the same thing. If you feel like something's wrong, hey, something's wrong.
Yeah, because usually, like we talked about with the not a deer, right? If you're walking through the woods and you see like a legit deer, you're like, there's a deer, right? And then it usually sees you, and it's like, right? But if you see a thing and it immediately sets your radar off, and it's looking at you with like a weird, you know what I mean? Like right away, like that's something's not right there, like that's a good sense to hone,
And they see a lot of these things out on these rural roads, either standing near the road or in the road, and they'll maintain eye contact with you, or sometimes they'll even follow the car. So, some people say they were followed home even.
Yeah, we had talked about that in the Beast of Bray Road episode, where the dog would stand on the side of the road like a wolf or whatever, and then as soon as you passed it or whatever, it would stand up like a person, and its legs bent the wrong way for a dog, and it would just walk away like a dude, and then people see it in the rear view and be like, what was that?
And you actually saying that reminded me of the video that we looked at like a few weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, with the guy with the flashlight went into dog mode, and then guy mode, then dog mode, and it was like...
That was crazy.
It was wild.
And that's a good one because that's a Ring camera video.
Yeah.
So it has the watermark and it has all the stuff from all the telemetry from the camera. So you can see it looks like a man walking a dog maybe, but the light is too bright to make out the shape.
Yeah, it looks like he's holding a flashlight.
Yeah. And then it looks like a dog with the flashlight on its head, and then it turns back into just a guy with the flashlight, and then the flashlight goes like unnaturally high.
Yeah.
And then it turns back into a dog again and starts walking away, and then it turns into a dude and then walks off.
Yeah, that's a good video. If you can find that, add that here. If you can find it, we'll...
A horrific meeting with a Skinwalker. This lady stays pretty calm for this to be so close. It doesn't appear to know if it wants to stand on two legs or run on four.
So yeah, entities, they keep their distance, but they track your movements. They a lot of times will stay at the edge of the property, and that might be one of those things where they have to be invited. Maybe
Ah,
that's probably maybe the mimicry of it
right. Is trying to.
is trying to get you to invite it in.
Yeah, that could be, and that could lend towards a demonic type thing, where it needs permission to cross onto your property, or maybe it in certain of these rural communities, the property has been blessed.
Oh yeah,
Where
that's
before
not uncommon.
they built
like
the
older
house,
properties,
right?
yeah.
So it might not be able to cross onto the property.
Especially in that area, you have a lot of really religious people in that
Yeah.
area, or even saged or whatever
Right,
properties out
right.
there. So you have a lot of spiritual beliefs in that area. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of warnings about this stuff. Like we said, don't whistle and
Yeah.
and answer.
Don't whistle
So,
back.
and the response may invite interaction. Ignoring it is seen as being protected by it. So there's a lot of cultural overlap out there.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Skinwalker Ranch.
There you go.
So Skinwalker Ranch is over in Utah, for you guys that don't know.
Yeah.
And it is named Skinwalker Ranch due to all the stuff that went on out there. And there's a lot of UFO sightings.
Everything you could think of goes on at that ranch.
And
Everything.
If you go back into our podcast, we actually, the dog whistle.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, we talked
Right.
about the dog whistle, and they were doing that in Skinwalker Ranch,
Yep.
which is a UFO. It was a way for these guys to call in UFOs, and Bob called that one. That was
Yeah.
fantastic. Literally, we sat here and talked about it on the podcast on Saturday night.
Yeah.
By Monday morning, the entire website had changed.
Yeah.
The government had come in within the 3 days that we talked about the podcast, 2 days
Yeah.
from when we talked about the podcast until Bob went to edit the podcast, the
It had all
government
been
had come in
co-opted.
and just whoop, took it all
Yeah.
away. Like,
Initially, when I did my research that week for that episode, it was scientists.
Mm-hmm.
It was dudes in lab coats. It was guys with thick glasses, and they were talking about algorithms. And there was a picture of a lady standing next to a whiteboard, and she had all kinds of figures and stuff drawn out there, and it was like, we're going to communicate with the stars, we're going to open channels of communication and become global ambassadors. Monday morning, it was Humvees, rifles, dudes with great big neck tattoos, and
Yep.
it was 180 degrees from where it was when I did
Right.
my research. So just in that time, in that week that I did my research and then we made the podcast, the government had stepped in and been like, yeah, no, we're
no,
not
that's ours now.
we're not
Thank
doing
you.
we're not doing the communication with our ET brethren. Now we're carjacking aliens.
That's kind of almost what it kind of almost said that.
Yeah.
Really,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it was like they were bringing them in to handle business, and it was like, okay then.
And the pictures that they showed, you could totally tell what happened because it has the dog whistle device is now on the back of a military side by side with like wires coming out of it like into like a government generator. Like you could totally tell that they had stolen all of this stuff and then repurposed it. Like it was the most obvious thing ever. And then next to the Humvee, there was like a stack of like 3 or 4 rifles on bipods right next to it. You're like, really?
Oh,
That's what we're doing now? Like we are the universe's bad neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like the aliens are like, oh man, we have to go through the Milky Way. Roll your windows up.
That's hard.
Don't make eye contact with any of the Earthlings.
Oh man. So yeah, but the Skinwalker Ranch has had all this stuff going on, and it was super popular in the 90s, right? And that's kind of where it gained its notoriety.
Yeah.
And then it's still constantly, if you go look, there's constantly investigation groups and
Oh, yeah.
scientists always out there, So the first sightings actually of the Skinwalkers, like we said on Skinwalker Ranch, were dog
Yeah, it was like
shaped.
an enormous wolf type thing that they
and they were
caught.
bulletproof.
Yeah.
So, but as in general, Skinwalkers usually tall humanoid shape, animal human hybrid, usually have a distorted face or elongated limbs, and always described as wrong.
Right.
And that's the thing that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Like you look at something, and you're just like, wait a minute, that's not right,
Yeah, right.
And that's going back to using your own perception to know when things are off. So a lot of times people, when they come across the skinwalkers, it's immediate dread.
Yeah.
Like just a primal fear reaction. The thing that kept us from getting eaten by saber-toothed tigers, like,
Right.
thousands of years ago, like that immediate, oh crap, something's there, I need to bounce. So, people generally, like, when you get that feeling, don't be stupid, just go, just
Right.
go,
Just bolt.
right? And it has it's so powerful that it has a lingering psychological, impact.
Right.
So
That's the thing that we talk about a lot with interdimensional beings that we've mentioned before, is that even though that encounter has happened months or even years before, that area where that transdimensional rift happened is still active years later and months later, where that zone or whatever it is that they do to the dimensional barrier, it lingers over time.
So there are the theories out there that the skinwalkers are, a paranormal entity rather than, the original Navajo tradition. Are they physical? Are they interdimensional? They appear, they disappear suddenly, so that lends into that theory.
Yeah.
The misidentification theory, we always got to go.
Always got to go there.
We always got to go to. I mean, are people misidentifying things at long range? Audio gets distorted in the woods. If it's out in a hot area, is it the heat?
Yeah.
If you get in a hot area, you'll actually see the heat waves coming off the
Yeah,
ground, which
the
distorts
heat
your
mirage
sight. The heat
makes
mirage
it look different, right?
So, is it misidentifying? I mean, at night, are you tired? Or, obviously we have to throw in the debunking stuff. Otherwise, we wouldn't be who we are. So, and the internet, and obviously things have really played more into it. And, internet sensation. Oh, I saw this, or oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
People want to be the center of attention.
If you type Skinwalker into TikTok, you'll be there for the rest of your life scrolling through.
Right. So, and they're becoming even more and more popular these days. So, I mean, do these overlap with cryptids? Could this be a type of cryptid? Very possibly. But I don't think it's the original. If it is, I don't think it goes back to the original Skinwalker, the Navajo tradition of the Skinwalker.
In my opinion, from my research, what I think the Skinwalker is astral projection type of thing, where the actual Navajo shaman is in his yurt or whatever and meditating, and then the beast is his projection. And that's why it's bulletproof. That's why it can interact with you. You can't interact with it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it has that psychic energy where it can do things, but you can't interact directly with it. Like, you can't throw a stick at it or whatever, just go right through it. So
the thing that makes them the scariest, and we'll end on this, the thing that makes them the scariest is the fact that they know your voice. Or know a family member's voice and call you into the unknown.
Right.
And I think that's what makes them the scariest. And
I think that's the most terrifying part of it, is that it knows that button.
Right.
That it can, like your mom or your grandma's voice at the door at night, like, hey, let me in, it's wet, I'm cold, let me in,
right.
Like, that's what gets you, you know what I mean? Like, that's the terrifying part of it.
So, guys, if you're in Appalachia, don't answer any whistles.
No.
If your dead mom calls from you from the woods, that's not her.
No.
Just don't go there. So be safe out there. Thank you guys for joining us on the Skinwalker podcast. Went down that rabbit hole. I know that's like I said, that's an old and a new one all mixed into one.
Yeah.
So don't forget, join us on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram. We have quite the following on the Insta.
Yeah. Yeah, active on Insta too.
Yep.
Lots of comments, likes, shares, comments. It's doing good on Instagram.
Patreon. If you want to become a Patreon member, 0 level member will get you on the slide at the end of the podcast. If you want to become a $5 member, then we sign you a postcard, send that out to you every month. And if you want to chit-chat with us, send us your ideas, get on Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Send us your, chat with us on Discord. Excuse me. I got a frog in my throat all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Get on the Discord, talk with us on Discord. Book of Faces, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we have our own group on the Facebook, so you could join the group and ask questions. Or all the shorts are on the Facebook group too, so you can comment on the short and get our attention that way, or just send a direct message on the Facebook if you want to.
We are on the Spotify, but we're catching up.
It's hard to upload stuff on the Spotify, so I'm way behind.
But there are things out there if you want to listen to our older stuff. Let's see. Dubby. Don't forget our partnership with Dubby.
Yeah.
You want 10% off. It's a cleaner energy drink. Use keyword whole truth, all one word at checkout, and get 10% off.
It's good stuff.
Let's see. Did that cover everything? Merch. Go get your merch. Printify.
Yeah.
There's the link is in if you watch the slideshow at the end, I believe it's the first slide actually. It's Bob and I discovering the words on the wall. So you're going to go to Printify, get your Veritas Project merch and support us. Show your support for us out in the world. We'd really appreciate it.
People ask you about that, like, what is that shirt you got there? Like, oh, this is this cool podcast I will listen to. Right?
It's this cool podcast I'm part of.
Right.
So, doggone it. Perfect timing for that right at the end of the podcast, right? So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. We appreciate you guys following us and all your support on all the social medias. Obviously we're being watched here on two different cameras here, and then I'm LinkedIn over here. We're all over the place.
Right.
So
we got all the screens.
All the screens. So thank you guys once again for joining us at the Veritas Project and our podcast. And remember,
stay curious
and find the truth, and we'll catch you guys next time. I can't talk. That's okay. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
See ya.